I think we're live. It's 7 o'clock, and I am Dawn Duvall coming to you from chilly, cold Fort Myers, Florida. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I've been doing this craziness 15 years this month. Can you believe that? So come on in, make yourself comfortable. Let's get settled in. I'm going to get the chat opened up, and then we'll get started here in about probably 2 to 3 minutes. Let me get the comments going. All right, let's see where we are. Oops, there we go. All right, we are streaming to Facebook and YouTube, and this is Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026. So come on in. Let me know when you get here, and then we'll get started here in a couple of minutes. We'll give everybody time to come in and get settled. Let me see where my dog is. Maybe she wants to come join us. Rosie, where are you? Maybe not. Okay. All right, come on in. Oh, there's Karen. Are you staying warm? Oh my God, girl. I was telling my friend this morning on the phone. Yeah, I don't have any. I have like 5 sweaters. I do have a couple, not very many, long sleeve shirts and like t-shirts. I have no turtlenecks whatsoever. So I've been layering my clothing on. But hey, it's all good. It's just so freaking cold outside. We get up at 6 o'clock and start walking. We walk for about 20 minutes because we're like fast walking. And so, oh my gosh! And when the wind is blowing, you know how that goes. I know. I tried to get her to come on, come over here and get on the camera, but she decided. I think my husband's throwing a toy for her or something. I'm not sure. I was looking to see if she's under her bed, in her bed over here. So, but I did put yesterday morning because it was so daggone cold. I put a coat on her, one of Riley's coats, which actually fits her for the most part, and I think she liked that. So I put that on her today and yesterday morning. But oh my gosh, this is crazy. And then we're supposed to still have some more cold weather, and then I think later this week it should start to somewhat warm up, right? I know. I'll tell you, when you move and you downsize and you live in Florida, you don't have a lot of warm clothes. I have a pair of jeans that I'm wearing they're kind of like stretchy jeans, but they're insulated. So those are coming in handy. And I've really thought about just wearing my woolly pajama pants out when I walk the dog. I'm like, I don't care, But anyway, oh my gosh, it's crazy, crazy, crazy. So, let's see. We got 3 people watching. Hello, Phyllis Rucker. Hello, hello, hello. How are you? Haven't talked to you in a while. Hopefully everything's going well. I'll go ahead and just go through we'll do some little news tidbits, and then we'll get started because I've got a lot. I don't think it's going to take long, but I want to make sure we have enough time. So, let's see. There's several things that are happening. We are now into, if you made any purchases last month, your bonus coupons, you need to use those up this month, and yet that starts today. And if you place a $75 order, then you can purchase the product of the month for $5, and that is some designer paper. You can see that when you go to my online store. Excuse me, but I don't know if I'll get it. I may not. It just depends. Excuse me. Oh, the dog is now eating. And then the other thing, we do have a joint offer. We've got Stampin' Up has come out, and I think, and I'm not sure, but I know they didn't design this because it's by another company. So I'm assuming they probably licensed. We've got a new Stampin' Positioner, which is kind of like the what was the thing we came out? Anyways, the one we had, the Stamparatus. Anyways, so I've ordered that. When did I order that? Sunday. So I'll probably have it in a week and I'll show you. But it is really cool because it's got the platform and then it has a plastic thing that's got, and you've probably seen people throwing it, and I put it in my newsletter, a picture of it, but it's got little feet on it. So you can push it down when you're ready to stamp, and then it has a smaller piece that's probably about like this wide that you can use to put your stamp on. So if you want to stamp in rows. And the nice thing about it, it's got the grid paper, and the grid paper has holes punched out, and there's little like I'm gonna call them spiky things that the paper will sit in that will hold it in place so it doesn't move. So I'm real thrilled about that. So anyways, that's the new Stampin' Positioner. So if you join Stampin' Up during the month of February, it's $99. You choose $125 in product. We pay the shipping. You pay your sales tax for the state that you live in. And they are going to give you that stamp positioner as a bonus, and that's a $49 value. So you're getting $49 in that stamp positioner. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. If you know somebody that might be interested, just pass along my information. I'd greatly appreciate it. And then last but not least, and I've got it on my blog. I got my 15-year badge to put on my blog from Stampin' Up. I've been doing this for 15 years. I cannot believe it. That thing showed up. I was like, holy moly, a long time. But anyways, I did a lot when I was in the villages. I held a lot of in-person classes, and I had some pretty good sized numbers of people in attendance. But it's okay. And I moved here, and then it all went, but that's all right. Okay, so let's get started. We are going to work with the Square Snippets designer paper, and that's one of the new papers that came out this year. So I'm going to flip the camera down. We're going to go ahead and get started, and I'm going to go over, show you what the paper looks like, show you the stamp sets, and a couple other things that we're going to do. We're going to make, I think I've got scheduled to make 5 cards, and I'll show you what I've done. So give me just a second. I need to flip the camera down, flip it around, make sure we're all in there. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, let me move this up just 1 second. So I don't like it being up so hot. It doesn't mean so low. Give me a second. There, that's probably better. Can y'all, does that look all right to y'all? Let me see. Let me move this down. Hang on. I have to move it, and that's the thing I don't like, but it's okay. Let me see if I can move it forward. And get this down. I don't think y'all need to see mine. Oh, wait, we got to go this way. There we go. I hit the button right. All right. We're going to work with the Simply Said stamp set. We're also going to work with this one's retired, but this is one of my favorite ones because it's got the cat for you there, Karen. And it's got some cute birthday sentiments. So we're going to work with that one. Use a couple of stamps. Well, we're going to use the wish thing, you all the wishes, and it's your birthday out of this one. And then this one we're going to use Let's Celebrate. And then this one is a new banner sayings. And I think, I'm not sure which one we're using in this one, if we're even using any, to be honest with you. I don't think we are using any. Hang on a minute. No, we're not. I don't think we're going to use this one. But I've pulled it out just in case. And then out of this guy, we're going to use that confetti one. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to move these out of the way because we don't need those right at the moment. Okay, and then we're also going to use, and I don't know if y'all have seen this in the new catalog, this is covered in flowers accent. It's only one sheet. You see, it tells me how many pieces are in here. No, it does not. There are 1, 2, hang on, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. There's about 20 pre-cut out, and you can color these if you choose to do so. We're going to use a couple of these on some of the cards that we're going to be making. And you can find this on the online store. It's called Covered in Flower Accents. And I want to say, I'm not even sure how much it is. So anyways, that's something that they've just come out with, which is nice. So that way, if you want to have some accents, you don't have to get out the Big Shot or the Stampin' Emboss cut machine and do all the cutting and all that mess. So we're going to use some of these when we get ready to decorate our cards. So I'm going to put that over here off to the side. Now, this is this Square Snippet. There's a stamp set that goes with this, but I typically only buy the paper and then I work with that. And so you can see, let me just show you the different, it's all 3 by 3 squares, okay? And so you get 2 sheets of each design. No, I'm sorry, this one you get 3 sheets of 4 designs. So there's that one, too, and I've already used one of those. And then we have this one, and these are a little bit bigger. I think these are 4 by 4. Hang on. Yeah, these are going to be 4 by 4. These are, you know what, I'm lying to you. Yeah, these are 3 by 3. And then it moves into the 4 by 4, which is kind of nice. So then you have a bigger, and it's pretty much the same color scheme designs. And then you've got 3 of those. Anyway, we're going to work with this one right here. And let me tell you what we're going to do. It's really easy. So once you get all your stuff cut and prepared, then I'm trying to get my paper back in the pack. Once you get everything cut and prepared, we're going to just do an assembly line, and that's not going in. So we're going to put this on the floor. So this is the sheet we're going to work with. Okay, so 3 by 3 squares. So you have the option, you can cut them all individually, or you can cut them however you want. So what I'm going to do is we're going to cut, we're going to cut, I'm going to cut 3 in a row. So I'm going to cut along here to get these 3 together. Then I'm going to cut this one off. This one's going to go off to the side. And then I'm going to cut these 3 down. And then we'll have these 3, these 3, and these 3. So we're going to make 5 cards. And let me show you what I've done on the first batch that I made. And I've changed up the color. So what we're doing is we're making like fun folds. Let me move this out of the way because it's a little bit busy. Let's turn it over. All right, so this is I'm using I use secret seeds for all the card bases on this particular one. The next one we're going to do white, and then use whatever piece you want, layering piece that you want that's going to coordinate with your color of your card of your designer paper. And I'm using the 2 1/4 circle punch. And so what we're going to do is we're going to fold these and pop them down. And then we're going to stamp our sentiments, and this is where you'd write your message, or however you want to do it. You can put the happy birthday here and write your message here. It doesn't matter. And then I added a piece of 3 1/4 by 4, 3 1/4 square to go underneath as a border. I'll bring it up. And then I just cut the same color of the base cardstock off and added that with some rhinestones, okay? And so you can see the difference. Look at that. So isn't that cool? So you can do this. Once you get everything pre-cut, then you'll be able to make, at least, if you go with the 3, you'll make 5 cards out of one 12 by 12 sheet of paper. So there's another one. And then here's another one that we did. I tried to stick with the pretty peacock because that's pretty predominant. So look at that. So that's what we did. All right. So that's what we're going to make this evening. So I'm going to move that out of the way. And now I'm going to bring in the paper trimmer, and we need to cut these down. And I didn't do that in advance. I probably could have, but I didn't. So we are going to let me open up my arm here. All right. So I know I want to start with this one. So this one's going to be cut off because I'm going to use that by itself later. So what we're going to do is we're going to line this up at the 3-inch mark, which means this is going to be at 9, right? Because we're using a 12 by 12. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, I'm going to just do a little of a cut because I just want to make sure I'm like right on the line. I'm off just a tad because I don't want to get too much of the other paper. All right, so we're going to cut this down. All right, we're going to take that off, and I've got a little bit much on here. So this one I've cut. So you got to be careful once you line up your paper because you're going to get these edges. And we got to trim off because we don't want that on there, but that's not a big deal. Okay. Now I'm going to cut off this red piece because that's the one I do not want. And I'm going to place that right there. Hopefully that's in the right spot. All right, we're going to save that one for something else. I'm going to put him off to the side. And then these are the ones that I'm going to work with. So with that being said, now I'm just going to cut all of these down, and that's going to give me my 3. And then you can choose whatever colors you want to go with the flowers or whatever the design is, right? So let me just check and make sure I'm on this right. I want to make sure I get on that line, because if you don't, you're going to have a little bit of that color from the, I'm getting it off just a little bit. So I'm going to come back over here. This is the part you got to really be careful of, because you don't, I mean, and if it shows, it's not a big deal. We'll just trim it off when we get to the, all right, so this really should be lined up at 6, right? So let's try that and see. All right, so we've got that one, and that worked. And then we're going to line this one up at 3 inches, because they're all 3 inches by 3. And then I've already prepared our parts that we're going to use. And see, I've got a little bit cut off there, but that's all right. We'll just trim it when we get ready to cut our cards. All right, so we've got 5 sheets, so we're going to make 5 cards. But this is really a neat way, a great way to use up your paper, and you can make quite a few cards with this. Okay, so what we're going to do, I brought in various cardstock and coordinating colors. So there's my pile of stuff. I've got all of my circles punched out, so we're gonna stamp those as we go. All right, so for my first card, we're going to use Pool Party and Darling Duckling. Okay, so that's going to be this one here. So what we want to do is, first of all, let me see, I'm going to fold it. So I want this to be on the front of my card. So we're just going to fold this over on the line that they already show. This is pretty simple. So we're just going to get it lined up and fold it down. Make sure we've got it creased. And then we'll come back with our bone folder and we'll get all of this a little bit more. Let me fold it. It's easier if you fold them separate. So I'm going to go ahead and fold that one. And if they're off a little bit, it's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. All right, so we're going to pull in our bone folder. We're going to give it a good crease. Now, how we're going to do this, I'm going to flop this one back this way, because this is going to be my bottom. Now, you can see that my trimmer, my blade is a little, needs to be switched. So I've got some threads here. So I'm just going to take my sanding block and sand some of that off. All right, so that's going to go on the, where we're going to put our sentiment. This is going to fold over, and then this one's going to fold just like that. And that's what we're going to do. All right, so now we're going to set up our assembly line, and we're going to just work as we go. Okay, so I'm using the base of 5 1/4 by 4 1/4 of Darling Duckling, a piece of Pool Party, which is 4 by 5 1/4. And we're just going to add that to here. And it's going to give us a little border around so our Darling Duckling shows, right? And then we are going to add this onto here. Now I've got a little bit of a fold right there that you can see. So I could come back and adjust this, but I'm going to leave it the way it is. I'm not going to worry about that. I think it'll be fine. No one's going to notice that. All right, so we're going to glue that right on there. Now, you can also, depending on the pattern of your paper, you could have it open like this if you wanted. We're going to open this one this way, or you can have it come down. So it depends on what is on your paper, and then you can go ahead and decide how you want to do that. Okay. So we're going to add our adhesive, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get everything glued down, and then we're going to come back and we'll stamp all. I probably should have done. Not to hold up time, I should have stamped most of the birthday stuff, but I didn't. So, but once we start, we'll just get them all stamped. We'll stamp everything in a row. All right, so that's going to go there. And then we're going to put this one right up here. And then we're going to put this piece down at the bottom. All right, so we're going to go like that, glue this down. So it's really pretty easy. Once you get all your pieces cut, then you're just doing an assembly line. And then one of the other things you could do is, if you want, you can always emboss this piece here, the second layer. You could emboss that and give it an extra little flair if you chose to do it that way as well. All right, so all right, so we've got that. We're going to glue this down here. Now I think what I'm going to do is now I think we'll do everything. I'm going to do all the cards, and we'll come back and then we'll add all the rhinestones I think that'll probably be a lot easier that way. And then we'll add our circles. Well, let's just, no, yeah, because we need to stamp these. So let's do that. So we're just going to move this off to the side for now. Now I've got another one that has the same darling duckling, and that's this one here. So I wanted this to be the top. Now you could make this one, either one is fine, whichever you prefer. So we're going to fold this one. And if you're not comfortable with folding, then you can put it on the paper trimmer and just do a score at 3 inches. And then that will take care of your folding. And you'll know that you've got it the way it needs to be as far as your measurement. All right, so that's going to be the front of my card. So we're going to fold this back. Make sure it's even. Oh, there's the doggy by the front door. And then this one's going to come this way. Let's see, put that down. This one's going to fold. This one has to fold back. Okay, so there we go. But isn't it simple? Now, I just love the colors in this paper. Isn't that pretty? So, okay. So I probably should have, now that I'm thinking about it, I probably should have glued all of this stuff down because you really don't need to see me glue all this stuff, but that's all right. So we're going to put this one right here. This, again, Pool Party with Darling Duckling. And then we're going to add this to a 3 1/4 by 4, 3 1/4 square, because this is 3 by 3. So we're going to put that right there. And we'll glue that on. So this is a great way, and you can do whatever you want as far as your decorating, right? And again, I've got a little bit of stuff, and we'll trim that off. I'll trim that off later. And with the flowers, it's really not as noticeable as far as the direction that they're going in, and I can see that right there. So give me a minute. I'm going to trim this off. I'm just going to come up right along that line and cut, because that is a little flat. See, just trim a little bit off is fine. All right, and then again, that's going to go here. So I thought this would be an easy way, and you can do this with any kind of paper that might have some nice patterns that you like. If you know they've got, this one works because they've got them in squares, right? Whoops, gotta put. Whoa, hang on, see, I must put it the wrong way. We need to go here, right? Because we want it to open that way. All right, so that one's there. All right, I'm gonna put this one on. And again, we'll come back and finalize. Now this piece is as a 1/2 inch by 4 1/4. So that's going to go from edge to edge on the bottom. Okay. And again, we're going to open and we're going to come back and add our circles once we get our everything else glued down. Now this one we're using Strawberry Slush with Misty Moonlight. And I'm trying to pick the colors. Oops, I got my papers are out of whack. I tried to pick some colors in the paper, or you can make them all the same. It doesn't matter, right? All right, so that's Strawberry Slush, which is going to be this one. Now, this one I do need to trim because this one I got a little crazy cutting that. So let's see if we can trim this off. Let's just add. You see the blue on it. So that's why you need to be careful, especially if you're using like the paper trimmer we have. I need to switch my blade and just need to flip it. So just keep that in mind. If you have the Stampin' trimmer, just take the blade out and flip it upside down and just to turn it around. That way you've got, because you're going, if you cut in the same side all the time, then your blade tends to get dull. So you just flip it around and that would be a little bit like it's new. Linda, how are you? Yeah, these are pretty quick cards, right? All right, so there's the 3 inch mark. So again, if we want to score it, we can just bring our scoring tool in and just do a 3 inch score there, and that way it takes care of that. But we're going to just kind of eyeball it and do it like that. And then this one we're going to fold this way. So it does make a nice way that you can create a bunch of cards. And so I'm just kind of laying it here, and hopefully we've got it right. All right, and then this one's going to go like that. And this will be on the top. Or we can, let me see, what was I doing? Oh, we got this one. I'm thinking, so we could also do it like that. We have the polka dots on top if we wanted. Now it's making me decide, what do I want to do? Because I've got the point here that's going to go on. Now, do we want the dots here, or do we want the dots up here? Nah, let's do it this way. And we're going to do it this way. It's fine. It's orange, but it'll be fine. Because when you open this up, it's going to have all the same colors. All right. So we're going to glue this down. And then the back of the paper, as you can see, is very muted, like a petal pink with some little tiny flowers. I hope I've got the right color here. I've got 1, 2, hang on. 1, 2. Oh, well. Why do I have 3? Oh, well. 1. How many did we make? 2? Oh, I made an extra one. Okay. All right. So this one we're going to glue down. And then again, we're doing the assembly line, right? So we're going to place these on here. Kind of messed up on this color. I'm thinking I was going to have the paint showing, but that's okay. All right. And then we're going to place this down here. And then we'll come back and we'll add our, we'll stamp all our sentiments, and then that way we'll just glue everything down. Makes it a little bit easier. And I'm going to lay this right here. Then again, this goes from side to side, 1/2 inch, 4 1/4. All right, so there's that one. So we'll set all these off to the side. Now this one, we're going to use, what is this? Cajun Craze and Garden Green because of the colors here. I thought that would be look nice. And then you can see where I've got a little bit of that trim. So I'm just going to take my scissors and just trim that little white piece off. And it probably is not going to be that noticeable. I think we tend to be a little bit more particular than others. All right, so this one I want to be in the bottom. So again, we're going to fold that one right on that line and try to get it even. Flip it over. That way we know we've got it straight. And I'm off. So let me just turn it this way. So it might be easy if you are a little bit more perfectionist, then you may want to do the scoring on the scoring tool on your paper trimmer. And that way you'll have it lined up exactly where it needs to be. So we're going to lay this one down. But really, it's just such a nice, quick way to make a bunch of cards once you get everything organized, right? All right, so that's going to be our top piece. Now, this you can see I've got that sticking out. So I'm going to adjust this here a little bit. I'm going to move this one over. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to put this back just a little bit. We don't want that white sticking out. Let's go like that. Oops, I made that work, didn't I? Go back to where, oh yeah, see what I did. Need to go the other way. All right, let's get this straight. We're going to move this down just a tad. There we go. So sometimes it's a little bit more forgiving. All right, there we go. Now we have a little bit of white there, but I don't think that's going to be that noticeable. All right, so again, we're going to put our garden green. And again, this is 4 by 5 1/4. And the Cajun Craze is 5 1/2 by 4 1/2. 4 1/4. 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. 4 by 5 1/4. All right, and then this we're going to put on here. And again, you can put whatever side you want to show. You just pick your, now you could have cut these in other directions too. When I cut the lines of the paper, you can cut them. Now this one's going to show a little bit of white, but that's okay. All right, so we're going to open it, and that's how that one's going to go. Okay, and I will glue this one down. But you could cut, whatever direction if you wanted other colors instead of cutting around like I did. You could have just turned it and cut it in a different way. All right, so we're going to lay that right there. I think once we get it done and put the circles and happy birthdays and stuff on here, I don't think that little bit of white's going to be that noticeable. I think we're a little bit more critical of what we do than what our people that receive the cards that we send to them, right? Because they have no idea. And again, some of these would look nice had we embossed the back of them, this piece right here. So that is another way that you can just add another little bit of flair to it. All right, and now we're down to Baking Craze again with Darling Duckling. So now let's do this one. Let's pour it and see what the difference is so that y'all can see. All right, we're going to score these at the scoring tool. We're going to line this up at 3 inches. So this needs to be 6, right? So we've got 6 inches is right there. So let's do that. And we're going to come in and we're going to put the scoring tool right there and see if that works. And then we're going to bring this one down to 3 inches. And we're going to do that one as well. And let's see how those fold. All right. All right. So we'll fold this way. Yeah, it's a little bit easier. And then this way, we can go back this way. This one's going to fold up. See, look at that. Makes it a little bit easier. This one, I did a little bit off. So we're just going to come in just a little bit. I'm going to bend it just over. Y'all can see. Just enough just to get it to where. See, I'm just going to kind of manipulate it where it should go. Just off a little bit. There we go. Okay. All right. So that's going to go like that. Much better. Okay. So there we go. All right. So it's kind of a strange color, but I'm using the colors they had in the paper. So you can make these, like what we're going to do, birthday cards. You can make them really for any occasion, if you've got the right paper, right? All right, so let's get this on here. And again, this is Cajun Craze with Darling Duckling. I'm ready to open another bottle of glue. All right, just make sure. And again, we could always have it open. If we don't want them to go to the left, we could put it like that, depending on the design. Now, this one, we could actually have it open this way if we wanted, because the leaves are going that way. So let's do that. We'll make this one the odd man out. Let's put him that way. So we're going to put that on here, right? All right. So we can have it like this. So when we do our sentiments, we need to make sure we get them in the right direction, right? So we'll do that one like that, but you can do them either way. All right, so we're going to glue this down. We'll have this one open and up. Let's pull out my other glue thing. All right, so this one we're going to have going up. Place that down. I think they would look really nice with the back, with this back piece embossed. All right. Oops, I just dropped my Cajun Craze piece. Hang on a minute. Oh, it went under my glass mat. All right. So this is going to go, and this again goes edge to edge. This one is, I got it cut a little bit too long. So we're just going to snip that off. Whoops. Okay. All right. Now let's do our stamping for all of our sentiments. So we need 3 circles per card. So there's 3. These are 2 1/4. So I'm going to take 5 circles out so they'll stay blank. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I'm going to stamp the birthday stamp set. So these are going to be all birthday cards. And then it should be 5 here. I just want to make sure I get them out. I think I might have made some extras. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, wait, we need 3. Yeah, 5, 5. You have 3. 3, 3, 3. All right, that's the empty one. All right, here we go. These 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So we are going to stamp 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to stamp all the birthdays. Let's do that's going to be the center one. Okay. So we're going to pull in our Snippets, and I'm going to stamp these in just the one same color. We're going to do, I'm going to use the Secret C because it's more of a black. So we've got 5 here. So this is where I'm going to start with the birthday. And that's going to be the one that's going to go on the front of the card. I think I punched out some extras. All right. So let's do a couple that say it's the best birthday because it's your birthday. And again, that's from that stamp set that is retired. So I'm going to stamp, let's do 2 of these. And then I've got another sentiment. So I'm going to stamp 2 like that. All right, I'm going to set these off to the side. What's the other one say? Wishing you all the wishes. We'll do that one. Wishing you all the wishes. And let's do the birthday one more time. So we need 5, right? Okay. All right. So there's our ones that we're going to put on the top of the card. I'm going to set these off to the side. And then the next set we're going to do is, let's see, we've got wishing you all the wishes. So this one is going to say, let's celebrate. And we should be able to, oh, this is the one that we're going to need to, let me clean this. We're going to cut this one in half so it goes, since our circle is not big enough to carry the, hang on a second. For the long word, so we're going to, you've seen me do this before, we're going to ink up half of it and then stamp it and then re-stamp it again. All right, so we're going to come in here and clean this stuff. All right, this is pretty easy. So we're going to do let, just like that. I can see through it. So we're going to stamp, hopefully I got that clear. So we're going to put let right there. And then we're going to clean that off. Make sure you clean it really good. And then we're going to do celebrate. And we got the C right there. We're just going to line it up just enough. And then we're going to put that right in so it's kind of centered. All right. So let's do that. We're going to go ahead. Let's do all of these with let's celebrate. Except for wishing you, we'll do 4 of these. Whoops. We'll do 4 of these, and then we'll come back and because we got the different sentiment. All right, so there's that, and then we'll come back and do the let's, and it just makes it easier. So see how we do assembly line? Just get them all done, stamp it, and then I'm going to come back and do the let. All right, and then we got one more, this one. And we can, about the photopolymer, that's the nice thing about it, is you can actually see through see where your ink is going. All right, and then we're going to clean that off. Okay, we're going to pop that on a piece, make sure we got that. Now we're going to come back in with, we're going to come back in with let. And you get that. And then we're going to stamp that right up top here. Okay. And we'll do that one. And then we'll do this one. All right. And then this one, since we did wishing you all the wishes, I'm going to put it's the best day because it's your birthday. So we'll just switch that up a little bit. That's all. We'll put that one with that one. All right. So I think that's all we need on our stuff, right? So let's close this up for now. And then we're going to come in. Now, all of these are going to be placed down. We're not popping anything up. Now, you can pop the one on the front up if you choose. So I'm just going to line all of these up. Let's do wishing you this one. We're going to put here. And then I did another one. So we need another celebrate. All right. So wishing you all the wishes. Let's celebrate. And it's the best day because it's your birthday. Let's celebrate. We'll just do that. That'll work. All right. So now we're going to come in and we're just going to add these. Now these, you can pop up if you want to. I'm trying to see if I did. I glued everything down flat just to make it easier. And let me get out my new glue. All right, so we're going to glue this one down. Hang on, we've got to get this guy started here. Hang on. There we go. Don't you love it when you get it, had it open, but it's been closed up. So, all right, so we're going to place that one here. Now, this is the one that's going to open that way. So that's why I'm doing it like this. Wishing you all the wishes. And then we'll come back. You can add bling or whatever you want to dress up that inside part. And then this one, we're going to put, it's your birthday. Now we can put that there, or you can put it here and then write your message. But I'm going to put it on the inside in the center. Let me get this thing. There we go. All right, so we're going to put it's your birthday. Now this one, we're doing this one open this way, just so you see the difference. And then we're going to put a blank one for you to write your message. I can get my glue. There we go. Come on, Bubba. There we go. Now it's working. And then we'll just set that one right there. All right. And then we'll come back and we'll do all of our bling bling at the same time. Just make it easier. All right. So that's that one. So we're just going to pull them all in, do our assembly line. And this is going to go on the front. Now, all of these are opening to the left. So I know. All right, so let's go in there. And then we'll open this one up. And we're going to celebrate. And you can add, you know, whatever you would like as far as bling or add some different coloring or whatever you want. That will be fine, but just remember you want to try to keep it somewhat flat for the mailing. And then this will be where we write our sentiment. And you can do squares if you don't want to do circles. You could do small squares if you want to do it that way as well. And then I'm going to bring these back because we're going to need to do this one. We're need to do our rhinestone. So we're going to put that one on here. I love that secret C because it really does take up, if you stamp it lightly, it does give it more of a bluish effect. And then if you stamp off, it comes out looking like the cloud cover, which is really light gray. All right, so let's celebrate. Oops, yeah, and then our blank piece so we can write our message. So you can see, and it didn't take me that long to cut all these squares. I mean, once you know your sizes and you start cutting everything, it goes pretty quickly. So let's just say it took me, I don't know, let's see, did I do that? Yeah. Let's just say it took me maybe 20, 30 minutes. So you could do an hour and a half if you have everything pre-cut and get it done. And we'll have 5 cards made. All right, and then we're going to put this one over here. It's pretty paper. Don't you love that? I just think that's gorgeous. And that blue, that pool party, look really nice. All right, and so there's that one. So you can see if you do it as an assembly line, it's going to come back a lot quicker. And then one thing I am going to do once we get it all done is I'm going to come back. I've got some little like confetti. I'll stamp on the inside here. I'm just going to try to coordinate that with the other colors. And this is gorgeous. All right, and then this is the last one. And then we'll come back and do our bling, and we'll do stamp some sympathy. That's covering up those beautiful flowers, huh? Now you could always, so depending on your stamp that you're going to use for your sentiment, your circles could be a little smaller if you choose to do that, which would be nice because then you'd see more of that pretty paper, right? Now that one we've got a little crooked, but it's okay. No one's going to notice. Only us. All right, so let's do some of the pool party. I think that'll look pretty on here. So I'm just going to take this little confetti stamp, and I'm just going to stamp a little bit right here, and maybe up at the top. And then we'll just do one down here, and we'll do a little one up here. Okay, so we've got get a little bit to it. And we'll do the same with this one because, again, it's the same color. This one, I think I'm just going to put one. And then here, we've got room down here. So let's do that. Kind of add some fun to it. All right, let's see. Let's put this one up, and then we'll do, well, we might as well just coordinate everything, right? So, and then we're going to do our rhinestones. We'll be done on time. So this is strawberry slush. So I think I'm going to put that here. And then we'll put some on this side. And we'll do a little bit up here so he doesn't look so naked. That kind of adds a little fun to it. All right. And then we'll do, I guess we'll do Cajun Craze. Oh, excuse me, one second. I got to read across the thing. My ink pads are up on the table. All right, so let's do Stampin' Craze on these. Give it a little bit of flair. Let's just do a little birthday right there. Make it look fun. And then we're going to do a little bit of celebrating here. Do a little bit up there. All right, and then this one, since we're doing the same, we'll do a piece right there. And then this one we did a little different. All right, so there's that. Right there for now. Okay. And then the next thing we're going to do is add our rhinestones. Oh, there's my other one. I knew I had another birthday thing out here that I was going to use. Consider yourself hugged. I forgot to put that in there. Oh, well. That's okay. All right. So we're going to put, the way I did this was I took a large rhinestone. I'm going to do 4. So I put a large one, and then I took the next size down and just spaced them apart just a little bit. And then I'm adding 2 of the smaller ones. So that way it's not going to take up. And it just adds a little bit of, so see how that adds a little bit of flair to it? I mean, you can decorate it however you want, right? So we're going to take a large, and we're just going to line them up, take a medium, or I guess it's medium considering they're small, and then 2 small ones. And you can do whatever rhinestones if you want to color them to coordinate. If you've got other embellishments you want to use, you can do that as well. But this is, again, when you're doing an assembly line, just makes it easier. And we can just pop them all on here. And that's not going to add any more to your card for mailing purposes. And you can space those out if you want. Pardon me. All right, so we're going to do this one. I just thought this was I can't tell which is medium, which is small. So this is a medium. Who would have thought to put Darling Duckling and Pool Party together, right? I would have never thought to put those colors together. I'll move him down to bed. Before he gets too stuck, we're going to move him. There we go. And we got one more to do. And then we will I'll show off all of the cards that I made tonight and then what I did yesterday. And we got 2 of the little smaller ones. All right. And there are our cards. So let me show you these, and then I'll bring back the other ones and that I made yesterday for those that are just joining us. I'll show you those as well. Okay, so here we go. Some of the colors are like, what? No, but I really do like this. Okay, so here's the Darling Duckling with Pool Party. And open that up. Isn't that cute? And just stick it in the card like that. And then this one's the same. This one's just different, the different paper. And again, this is a square snippet paper. They're 3x3 squares. And then the last three sheets are 4x4. And I cut this, these are laying on a 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. Now this one we're having open this way just because of the design. So you can have them open this way. If you're sending it to a lefty, you could have it open to the right. All right, so there's that one. Put these over here. And then here's one that's strawberry slush. Same thing. All right. And then this one is Cajun Craze with Garden Green. You can add more layers to them if you'd like. And then these are the ones that I made yesterday. Pardon me. This is one of the other sheets of paper that I had in that stack. So you'll have one of these as well. And that's that. Isn't that pretty? Okay, there's that one. And then this one I have it on peach pie. And these bases are on oh, I lied. I told you I was making those on white and I didn't. I've got 2 more cards if we have time for the 2 extra pieces. This is on peach pie. This one's on pretty peacock. And if y'all, all right, we got 8 minutes. I'm going to make the 2 other cards, and those are going to be a little bit different with the 2 extra pieces that were left over on my 2 sheets of paper. And then here's this one. This is another one. Isn't that pretty? All right, so let's move these off to the side. I just realized I got the 2 more to go. All right, so we had from the paper that I cut. This is where we're using those little sheets I told you about. So we're going to do. Hang on. All right, these are going to be on white card bases. I knew I was doing something. That's why I have all these extras. We're going to do. Okay, so we have this color. And we have this color. These are only 2 squares that were left that we cut off by themselves. So I'm going to put this one on Misty Moonlight, and this one's going to go on Strawberry Slush. Okay, same 3x3. I'm placing that on. Now you could turn it this way if you wanted, but I'm going to leave it like this. This is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, and then I'll show you we're doing something a little bit different since it's only 1 card, right? It's only 1 piece of paper. Or 1 square. So we don't have that try the 3 effect. So we're going to lay that on there. Now this piece here is I believe it's 4 by 5 1/4, but let's just make sure. I think I cut it down. No, this is 3 3/4 by 5, and then a regular card base. I'm sorry, this is 4 by 5 1/4 because we're going to put it on a base of white. All right, so we're going to do the same thing. The difference is, and that's where I'll use this stamp right here. The difference is we're actually going to make a regular card base that opens rather than the ones that we just did. So we're going to place the white on here. Okay, then we're going to place this on here. And then this you can place wherever you would like. And we're going to place that right about, and I should have trimmed that and I didn't. I'm going to place that right about there. And that's so that trimmed off. I'll probably cut that. And then we're going to come in with this little stamp with 4. And I'm going to stamp this. It says, consider yourself hugged. And we'll do that in Strawberry Slush. So we'll go ahead and use our same color. I'm going to stamp that right to the bottom. Now I'm going to stamp it off to the side. Okay, I know it's a little tiny print, so if you need, can't see, you're going to have to put some glasses on. All right, so I'm going to clean this real quick. I'm going to use this again. Now, this is where our card base will come into play. and our decorations for the top. Okay, so this is thick, basic white, thick cardstock. And one more, we'll get that on there. That's going to go on here. And then we're going to, I don't need those circles. I just made extra. Hang on. Let's see. Get ready to put that on there. And then we're going to do, using the, if you just joined us, I'm using the pre-cut out. Oh, what did I do with them? We're going to use this pack of Covered in Flowers accents. And I think that what I say, I think there's 16 or 17 on here. Different, you can see. I'm not going to color them. You can, but they're white. So I'm going to leave them. I'm going to put this right just like that. And that's going to be my decoration. And you can pop it up if you want. Actually, no, I think I'm going to lay it. I think I'm going to lay it. Do I want to pop it up? No, I think I'm going to lay it down flat. So we're going to put a little glue here. And then I'm just going to add a little bit, just enough to hold these little guys down, just little dots. So this is what you can do when you have a couple of those little extra pieces left. And you can color it again if you want, but I'm going to leave it, since we're doing it pink and white. We're just going to leave it just like that. So there's that card. And then, of course, you can stamp whatever you want on the inside. And then this one, we're doing Misty Moonlight. So we're going to do the same thing. Our base card, our base 4 by 5 1/4. And what did I say? This was 3, and this is 5 and, no, I'm sorry. This is 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. So we're going to glue this down. And again, it's another way you can do. So if you don't want to use all 3 with the butt fold, you could just make cards with each square, right? And then we're going to put this on here. And using these cutouts, you can always color them with your blends or your watercolor pencils if you want to do that. And then you can color them to coordinate with your actual cardstock. So look at that. We'll have all this done in an hour. Can you believe it? All right, so we're going to lay that right there. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to stamp the same thing at the bottom. Consider yourself hugged. And I'm just going to offset it. Now stamping this in Misty Moonlight as well. Okay. And then on this one, I pulled out one of the other things. It's 3 flowers, and you just pop these little extra pieces out. And you can leave them in there if you want the petals. I would think if you want to, if you were going to color, you could leave those in and not pull them out. But I want the outline of the flower, just because I think it looks cute. So give me a second, I pop these out. All right, so that we've got all these little leafy things. I'm sure some of you that are creative could probably think of something you could do with these little pieces. All right, and this is a little bit thicker. It's not, it might be a cardstock. I'm not quite sure what it is. It's got to be a thicker something. And then that one's going to go right like that. Isn't that cute? So again, we're just going to add some adhesive to the back of these. And I'm just going to come around on each of the little areas where I can put, like in the, where they're connected, pardon me, and just put some dots so they'll stick to themselves down. Okay, there we go. And I'm just going to plop this one, do it like that. You just hold it there for a second so they hold. And then, of course, you'll put your inside piece, right, of white on the inside, and then you can write your other sentiment. And then this is going to go on the card base. We'll get that on there. So this is another idea if you want to do individual. We'll get that right like that. All right, so there are the two individual ones. Here are the ones, we'll just put some of these out. Here are the ones that we made just to kind of show you what you can do. Look at that. So there you go, everyone. You turn pieces into, oh, thank you. But isn't that great? So there you go. These, you can just take the squares and make basic regular card openings, or you can do them like this and cut the 3. And then you've got like a quick little fun fold card and place that in your envelope. And then you can do any kind of decorating you want. But there you go. So we actually did 7 cards because we did the 5 plus these 2. So we did 7 this evening, and then I did 5 yesterday. So that gives me what? 5, 10, 12 cards, right? So there you go, a bunch of cards. All right, everybody, thank you so much. Stay warm, because you know those of us in Florida are freezing our tails off. You all in the Midwest and up north know. This is nothing as far as what our weather is. But anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope to see if y'all create, do you get this paper or have this paper and you make some cards, share them on the Facebook page. That would be awesome. Or you can email them to me, whichever you prefer. But I would love to see what y'all create with this paper. All right, everyone. Thanks again. And this is called Square Snippets. It does have a coordinating stamp set, I think. Pretty sure it does. And there you go. So enjoy your Tuesday. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe we have, hang on, let me pull up my calendar. Yes, this Friday at 12 o'clock is our technique, Fundamental Friday. So I'll come up with another technique that we'll do. So until then, I hope to see you on Friday. Have a great week, and I'll see you Friday at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. All right, everybody. Thanks again. Good night.